Lina, you can start, Lina.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone out there. I am Lina Ashar, and we are going live on Unimo Universe of Mums, the world's largest community of mothers, for today's session of Community Key Immunity. That's quite a tongue twister. I've got three beautiful women with me today, sharing the stage. And while it's my fifth turn at a Facebook Live, it's all of their first. So please be really kind to all of them. So today we're talking about the importance of immunity, mental health for boosting immunity. And it's not just mental, there's a lot more than mental. So let's look at all the ways in which we need to be mindful of keeping our immunity high at this time. Being mindful of our mental and emotional health is really, really important. The thoughts we think, the feelings that we have, the emotional states we allow ourselves to get into will all have a direct link not only to our immunity, but also to our family's immunity. Remember what I say all the time, your kids are watching you. They will feed off all the energy that you give out. So if you're giving out high immunity energy, that's what they're gonna have as well. So never before in the history of man has a subject as immunity been as important as it is today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the diet we have, and we all need to be mindful of our diet. And by diet, I don't mean just what we put in our mouths. By diet, I mean everything we feed our mind, our hearts, our souls, and our bodies. The food we eat, the media we consume, the thoughts we think, and the feelings or emotions that we choose to have, because we get to choose them. We actually get to choose our thoughts, and we get to choose our feelings, and we get to choose our emotional states. And it all just starts with choosing your thoughts. You choose your thoughts correctly, actually everything else just follows through, because your thoughts impact your feelings impact your emotional state impacts your immunity. So everything that we choose to have will either nourish or won't nourish our bodies. So it'll either improve the level of immunity and the amount of nourishment we're giving our bodies, or it'll lower the amount of immunity and nourishment we're giving our bodies. And everything does have a direct link to our immunity. So hopefully we're all engaging in some form of exercise and getting enough sleep. I put 30 minutes of exercise in a day at the minimum, and I'm making sure I get enough sleep as I can. All these things will boost our immunity. So let's look at firstly for our food diet. What are we putting in our mouths and into our stomachs? So only 12% of Americans are living in America without high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or pre-diabetes. Beyond our age factor, which is how old we are, this is the biggest risk factor of getting COVID-19 is the diet that we've been having up to now. I've read a lot of articles that question that is America's junk food and what America chooses to put in its mouth and into its stomach. Is it, and the high level of obesity that they have, is this rendering Americans more susceptible to getting the coronavirus? Big question mark, and research and time will tell. Luckily, we Indians, we naturally have healthier diets. We have diets rich in fruit and vegetables, and as long as we keep our sodium levels low and our sugar levels low, that's really great for us and our kids. And the less we allow processed food to be part of our meals, the better. And I'm nobody happier than me that McDonald's and KFC and all those other places are not accessible. So the next is, so we've looked at what we consume in terms of the diet of the food that we put in our bodies. The next is our mental and emotional state. We must firstly understand, and this is from a neuroscience perspective, that our brains are wired for fear. From an evolutionary perspective, our brains are actually wired for fear, and the media knows this. Stay informed of what's going on. I have no problem with that, but do it when your children are not present. And secondly, do it through the print media rather than the television media, or any of the digital media that's interactive. Our brains react very, very differently to audio and visual media than it does to print. So please be very mindful of this. And please know and understand, and this is a fact, that the media wants you to be scared. The media is there for your eyeballs, which increases its TRP, which actually then increases its advertising dollars. And it knows the neuroscience of getting you hooked to it. all the media out there knows, and even in America, you look at it's either pro-Trump in fear or it's anti-Trump in fear, but they're both feeding on your fears. And so there is actually a saying that the media wants to scare you straight. And that is very, very true. If you look at the media, that's all that they do. So please be very, very mindful of the media you consume. We also then need to be very, very mindful of our choice of language, which then impacts the thoughts that we have, yeah? So the vocabulary we use at this time out loud and internally in our heads all have an impact on how we feel and therefore our immunity. So while we can't control these events, we just cannot control these events, right? But we can control our language and our thoughts about this event. So my suggestion, don't call people up and ask them, how are you coping at this time? You know, call people and ask them, what new things are you learning? What songs are you listening to? What book are you reading? So let's try it now. We're going to create what I'm calling a community chat waterfall, right? I'm going to give you 10 seconds or 20 seconds, and I want you to put in what are some of the empowering questions you can ask your children, your family, your friends that may speak to their brain in an optimistic way. And I'm giving you 20 seconds to do this. Let's go. Come on. I want to see a chat waterfall. I want everyone engaged. We're all about active learning and we're all about engagement. I'm not here as, somebody who knows it all. I'm actually just here somebody who's deeply interested in the neuroscience and the research of happiness and well-being and learning and all those things. So one of the things that we always do is we want it to be active. So come on. Put in a question, a powerful question that you're going to ask either your child, your family, a friend. What is an empowering question, an optimistic question, a question that you ask that puts their mental framework in a good place? Because if you ask them, how are you coping? That's not great. That's very disempowering. So we want to ask them, an empowering question. Hopefully, I can't access the Facebook, but hopefully all of you have asked some very, very empowering questions, and you're going to keep that as a thought going forward, that you're not going to ask your child, how did you cope today? You're going to ask your child, what new thing did you learn today? What are you grateful for today? So what is that? Second thing I want to say is creativity and music have great beneficial effects on our immune system. I have never listened to more music than I'm listening to now. Social engagement and learning boosts our immune system. Routine helps us, and it helps us your children stay centered as well. We need the normalcy of routine. So if you're a parent who's binge watching on Netflix till 4 a.m, please don't. Please keep routine. I promise you at the end of the time, it will have a positive impact on your immune system and your health. So when I think of routine, I'm going to talk to you about all the things I do to boost my immune system through this time. I firstly divide my day. For my mental health, I put aside 2 hours to learning. I am doing a course on storytelling at the moment. I'm also learning more about brainwave entrainment, another area of my interest. I'm doing a silver mind control online course. I just finished a cognitive behavioral course, and I'm reading a lovely book called Flourish, the Science of Happiness. So that's my cognitive well-being. I'm taking care of my cognitive well-being by learning something new every day. The next thing is the well-being of my spirit, right? So how do I do that? I spend 2 hours every day creating. This can be ideation around instructional design. In fact, when we were told to close down our schools, the first thing I did very quickly is I got on a brainstorm meeting with all the instructional design team, and we created age-wise and grade-wise COVID-19 journals. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about that. But if you're watching this and you would like a COVID-19 journal for your child, please write into founder@kkel.com, FOUNDER@kkel.com. And please let us know what age and what grade your child is in, and we will send you out a COVID journal from us to you. Yeah, it's all about community at the moment. So I got into this call and we've created beautiful COVID-19 journals. I then spent time crafting questions for people I'm interviewing. Like today, I'm going to be interviewing these 3 gorgeous girls. And I'm also interviewing a lot of people for a parenting portal I'm setting up. So I spent a lot of time doing research around that. And what are the deep questions I can ask them that will help parents understand how to bring more happiness, more meaning, and more purpose and more fulfillment in their child's life. So that's really important to me. Then I craft my posts on Instagram and Facebook that are all directed to finding peace at this time and looking at this time with a spirit of optimism. So if you want to see, what sort of things I'm thinking about, please follow me on Instagram or Facebook. So even this time, you will see how I'm approaching it with the spirit of optimism. What can we get out of this time? Because by doing so, when we stay optimistic and we stay hopeful, we actually boost our immunity and the immunity of everyone in the network. That's what my mission at this point of time is. The next is my physical well-being. As I said, I exercise for at least 30 minutes a day, and I'm eating home food, and I'm eating a lot more fresh fruits and vegetables. I optimize the chance of my getting sleep by digital and screen distancing from 11 o'clock at night. So at 11 o'clock at night, I pick up the book Flourish that I'm reading. And just as selfies, I found a great way into our vocabulary. We're using that selfie thing all the time. I think another thing that's going to find a permanent way into our vocabulary is distancing. I'm constantly distancing self from media onslaught, from disempowering thoughts, from junk food, and yes, from any screens for an hour before my sleep time. So you all know, I turn into a pumpkin at midnight, right? So that's when I have to go to sleep. Then I come to my emotional well-being. I spend lunch and dinner times with my family without any digital device at all. I spend 15 minutes on FaceTime with either one of my friends or family or on a group call. Just yesterday, my brothers in Melbourne, who are in Melbourne, and my cousins in Dubai, my cousins in Sydney, and my cousins all over in India got onto a scheduled sibling connection call. We used Zoom and we all got onto a call. We chatted, we sang happy birthday to my niece, and we looked at the antics of all the little gorgeous, adorable babies in the group. Great levels of great happiness chemicals surged through my body when I went through that. And I can't see, I mean, one of the things one of the very few things I'm missing at this time is holding my 5-year-old brother's son and 9 months brother's son, but I can't do that, but at least I can FaceTime with them. I can get them on. I can hear my nephew who's 5 years old play the piano. I can read stories. I can sing nursery rhymes to the little one. I can read stories and chat with them. I can do all of those things even if I'm not with them. So there is a great amount of anxiety, and I don't want to minimize that for anyone. There is a natural amount of anxiety that will happen at this time of uncertainty. It is a given, yeah. But we're all looking at ways to minimize that and maximize the good feelings, right? So when we feel uncertain or when we feel stressed, we actually release a stress chemical called cortisol, and that lowers our immunity. And today is all about strengthening our immunity, right? Not lowering it. So we do not want to lower our immunity. We want to counterbalance this with either yoga or meditation, and that lowers our cortisol levels. Yeah, it counterbalances that, and it releases other hormones and happy chemicals that boost our immunity and how we feel, right? It releases melatonin as well, which is a hormone that helps us get enough sleep. And sleep, again, has a direct effect on our immunity, as I've already spoken. The more sleep we get in terms of quality and quantity of sleep, the better our immune system is going to be. Then what else do I do? I listen to music and I meditate for 10 to 40 minutes a day, depending on how much grounding I need, how much centering I need, at least 10 minutes, maximum 40 minutes. After my meditation is over, I do 2 things. I think of 3 things I'm grateful for, because we all have things we're grateful for. We may not be able to have nail polish on and get our nails done and our hair done, but there are things that we are immensely grateful for even at this time, right? And then I set my learning and my creating intention for the day. What am I going to learn today? What am I going to create today? Those are the 2 things that I set as intentions. I then spend an hour and a half at the end of the day on mindless entertainment. But remember, that's before 11 o'clock, right? And I watch a movie or a TV episode. So let's try one more chat, one waterfall. Name 3 things that you're grateful for at this time. And I want you girls to think about it as well. What are 3 things? And you'll see the change in your physiology and your emotional and mental well-being immediately. What are 3? Let's close our eyes and think of 3 things we're immensely grateful for at this time. Okay, I hope all you mums there have you all have contributed with a great waterfall of thoughts. So now this routine is what keeps me in a state of well-being. The book Flourish that I'm reading, it actually says the main constructs of well-being are learning, doing something purposeful, relationships, and achievement. So this is how you can sort of divide your day. And of course, Netflix for immediate gratification, the pleasure component of life. We need a little bit of that as well. So do not feel guilty if you're watching some Netflix. So now I'm going to go to these three beautiful ladies who are with me on this platform. I've just chatted away. And so now we're going to go to our school leaders to see ways in which they are helping with the well-being of the children in our care. I'd like to introduce you to Dynamic Dhara. Can you put your hand up, Dynamic Dhara? And then she's our partner at Wadala. Then Passionate Pooja. There's Passionate Pooja for you. She's actually our partner at, Dhara is at Wadala and Pooja is at in Borivali. Sorry, Pooja. Sorry. So Pooja is our wonderful partner at Borivali. And then last but not least, we have Vivacious Vinita. Can you speak?
Hi.
She's our center director, center head at Kangaroo Kids, Almeida Park, Bandra. So let's find out how they are watching out for the well-being of our kids. And before we begin, I'd like to reiterate that I do on any Facebook Live or any webinar I'm part of, this time is less about academic learning. Even if your kids are paused for a year from any academic input, it's not going to do them any harm. This time is less about academic learning and more about emotional connection, mental engagement, and the well-being outcomes we get when we are creative. And that's what all I'm hoping they're going to talk to you about and keeping our kids engaged. So I'll start with Dhara. Dhara, I believe you're keeping our children engaged virtually. Can you tell me what you're doing, how our children are interacting, and the benefits you're seeing from this interaction?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Lina. Thank you so much for giving us such wonderful insight. You have given us so much more information for us too. Thank you so much. So basically in the month of March, when we were all hit by this pandemic, COVID-19, which resulted...
One minute.
Yeah.
We have to be very mindful of the words we use. So when we say the words hit by the pandemic,
yeah,
that sends stress chemicals rushing through our body.
Correct.
And we were given this opportunity to pause.
Correct.
Okay, so
right.
Let's say that again. When we were given this opportunity to pause.
Pause, okay. Huh.
Then what happened?
So, which resulted in our schools shutting down all across the world, leaving our children out of the classroom. So, at that time, we thought that there is no lockdown to education. So to ensure that there had been no lockdown to education, we at Kangaroo Kids International, we started with our virtual classroom, which included all the activities which we conducted in school, like our circle time, story time, puppet show time. We also did rhyme sessions. We also conducted some yoga sessions with our children, which our children simply loved them. So, you know, with our parents' request, we still continued doing many more sessions. We also did some physical exercise sessions. And our children and parents were overwhelmed by these sessions. So basically, the benefit of virtual classroom was that the children were actually more responsive and active. This also was because it's a new concept and the children would love to explore something new with the help of their teachers. In today's time, as we cannot control what is happening in our environment, what we can influence is how we can view this time with our children, you know. So for our most important key goal was to develop a mindset that every opportunity provides us with a platform to grow. According to me, it's very important for us to have our mental health. We need to have a very healthy body. As Lina rightly said, you know, that we have to have our physical fitness, our mental health in place at all the time. So we are like role models for our children. For us to promote good mental health, we have to be very, very mindful about what we do and what kind of an environment we create at home. What kind of a strong bond we are having with our children and family at this time, as this is the best time. We are all home. uh, I can give you my example with my kids. I have had the best quality time, as to we played a lot of games. We also had screen time, but then we were all together, not like a normal day, like everybody's doing their bit. So we all had fantastic family time. We built like a strong, kind of family bonding time we had. We kept a lot of communication and conversation flowing. We also need to be very mindful about our children's screen time. We need to monitor that too. As Lina rightly said, that we need to build our children's immunity. That's very important. For that, as she rightly said, sleep is very much essential. We need to have good amount of hours of sleep. We need to also have a lot of fruits and vegetables, like carrots, green beans. It could be strawberries, mangoes are in season. So make sure that all these things are taken care of. We need to also make sure that our kids keep washing their hands, even before and after snacks. We keep doing all of this regularly, even during our school timing. Also, after every meal, do a lot of physical activities with our children. I'm sure each one of us are doing our bit by exercising. We can do it like a family regime, like a parent and child doing exercise time together. We can play a lot of games together. So children between the age of 2 to 4 years, they do not only need a lot of movement, they also need a lot of variety of movement. So it's very essential to make a little unstructured kind of a fun way for them to play. As parents nowadays, we are all very much into a structured timing for all our children on a daily basis. Let them explore, let them have fun. We have a lot of these toys in the house. Let them play and have their time. We are always there to monitor them. So, in short, I feel we are like role models. By taking care, we need to take care of our mental health. We also need to vent out our feelings, because children are finally observing us. They are always feeling that we are their role models. It's very important for us to actually be their best friend and go ahead. Thank you.
So Dhara, what I took away from you, I think the greatest things I took away from you, one is that we continue to bond, engage, and connect virtually, as well as you're encouraging parents to do the same. And the learning I took out from what you said is, any situation is one that you can learn and grow from. So whether it's a positive situation or a challenging one, we can learn and grow from it. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Pooja, I spoke about the benefits of meditation and yoga. Yes. And from what you post on Facebook, I can see you spending a fair amount of time doing both of these virtually. Can you share exactly what you're doing and how you feel the children are benefiting from it?
Sure. Firstly, thank you so much for your lovely introduction. Okay, so yes, to all the parents, to all the moms, to all the fathers who are live with us, a very good evening. And I am here to talk about yoga and meditation. Of course, we did use it in our virtual schooling, but then other than that, you can start yoga and meditation as young as when your child is 2 years old. Of course, there's a lot of wiggling which happens when they start. They can't sit at one place. The focus is not there. But we use few techniques in our school. I would like to share a few examples. So we used yoga in different forms, in a story form. Suppose we are narrating a story of a Little Red Riding Hood. So here goes Little Red Riding Hood, passed by the woods, and there she saw a tall tree. So when she saw a tall tree, we all stood in a palm tree pose. All the kids learned a tree pose. And there we saw a wiggling snake behind the tree. So all the kids became a snake. So that is how in a story form that we taught them a few different yoga poses. Then even in a rhyme form. So there was this Incy Wincy Spider, we all know, we've grown up with that nursery rhyme. So moms, teachers, us, everyone, we became spiders and we were crawling, creeping in the room, becoming an spider. I would also like to share few examples where mom and the child did a buddy pose. Okay, so they were toes to toes together, hands holding each other. Both of them became a boat, and we started singing, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. So these few things where, yes, they are learning, as well as we are introducing few asanas, which are very important, crucial, I would say, a part of their growing up, and definitely for increasing their immunity level. Also meditation, if I may talk about meditation, we can do it in different forms, not necessarily that you have to sit at one place and meditate for a 15 minutes or 10 minutes. We can use it different forms. Like for instance, in our school in Borivali, we had a garden safari day. So we just told parents that go into your personal garden in your building, of course, maintaining social distancing. In case you do not have a garden, just sit by the window, just feel the cool breeze, which is unlikely to happen in a city like Mumbai. Look at the clear sky, just hear the birds chirping and feel the soil, feel the petal, smell the flower. So you understand there are a lot of sensory movements which are happening. They are developing that, as well as it's a kind of a focus that they're developing. So on this particular instance, we got an excellent feedback from parents coming back. It was a fabulous meditation process, or a time that kids are feeling relaxed, kids are feeling calmer. They have mere 15, 20 toys that they keep playing. Of course, they are missing out their friends, their teachers. Through virtual classes, you can attend that. But then other than that, their me time, which we all needed, the mama time, which we all needed, was like, with these few examples, few stories and few nursery rhymes and few days that we celebrated, it was very well taken care. So the impact was great. Also, I would like to share that one of those days we had played this game, mindfulness scavenger hunt. So it was, it's a damn good game, which I think all the parents should play it with their kids, however old they are. So it's like, use all your 5 senses, okay? Just a bag, a mother, father, child. Whatever you can see in the house, collect it in that bag. Whatever you can smell in that house, collect it. Whatever you can feel, collect it in the bag. So it's a kind of a fun game, as well as, again, it enhances their memory, it enhances their focus, and they love playing these games, rather than telling them, okay, now you need to sit and meditate or close your eyes or chant Om or many other things. So these are few things that we incorporated in our school, and it was a big hit. Which I would say that every parent, some or the other way, should definitely inculcate these habits. So, what happens is that there's a routine which sets up, as Lina rightly said, that we definitely need a schedule. We definitely need a routine. And as kids are mirror of parents, okay, they will watch you. Even if parents, they are, practicing yoga or meditation somewhere down the line, they will definitely learn only from parents. So few tips that, what you can do at home with kids. Calming music is very calming. So give them headphones, let them listen to some calming music. Om chanting, again, Om chanting is one of the fundamental technique which can be used, which I personally used with all my kids, 2-year-old kids in school. Believe me, however cranky they are, in whichever part of the room they are, but the vibes are so strong that it just calms them down, okay? And then there's also this beautiful technique of gazing at anything. Today you sit by the window, I would say look at the sky, gaze it like for 2 seconds, 2 minutes, even that's a kind of a meditation. Other thing what I could suggest is, inhale fresh oxygen and exhale it in a balloon. So of course you can introduce inhaling, exhaling exercises in them, but few techniques where you inhale oxygen and exhale it in a balloon. So it's a kind of a game for them, but at the same time, it's a win-win situation for the mother, for the kids, and they love doing all these things. So
Lovely. So some of the things I took away from what you're saying is you don't have to do yoga and meditation in a boring, conventional way with kids.
not at all.
Right?
Yes.
You can infuse it with a lot of fun. Kids love novelty, so each time you can approach it differently, and being mindful about the sensory input we're receiving itself is a form of meditation.
Yes.
And the other thing that I'm actually researching on is the power of Om on the brain. So there's a lot of research being done on the effect of, when you ring the bell. So
Sure.
at the temple, what effect it has on the energy resonance of your brain. So there's a lot of stuff around brainwave entrainment, sound therapy, the sound bowls, and all of that I'm reading about. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we had a lot of great techniques and ways historically as Indians that we kind of didn't fully embrace. But yeah, it's beautiful that you're coming back to embrace it. Thank you so much.
There's a screen where these kids are looking very cute while doing these yoga poses. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So
that
cute.
is gorgeous.
So we had a farm animal day where they had become dog, cat, horse, hen, so it was really cute of them.
That is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Pooja.
Yes, thank you.
So, Vinita,
Yes, Lina.
I'm always looking out for your feedback, and you're my validation stamp, whether we're doing things right or wrong. And you gave us positive feedback about the COVID journal and how parents and children have reacted with this and how they've benefited from this. Can you tell us a little bit about how the journal went down, how parents used it, what feedback you got, and the effects of using the journal on kids? And before you start, I want to remind parents again, if you're watching this, if you want a COVID-19 journal all the way from preschool to grade 9, please write to founder, FOUNDER @kkel.com with the age and grade level of your child, and we will send you a journal. Vinita, please talk to us a little bit about the journal.
Yes. Good evening, Lina, and to all the wonderful moms and friends watching us out there. Moms, as you'll know that since the month of March, we were all forced to adapt to new schedules, new routines almost overnight. Parents working from home, and there were classroom instructions that were taking place online. Trips to the grocery store were creating unexpected feelings of anxiety. With all these changes, of course, moms, came new question and a new perspective of the world around us. To help children process all the recent changes and uncertainties that were happening, the curriculum team created a unique journal, which was a place for the children to record their thoughts and ideas during this time. Lina, the COVID journal has helped to keep the children occupied in an intelligent way. It has made them aware of the current situation, but in a very appropriate and child-friendly manner. It is a completely self-explanatory journal. And the effect of the journal has been marvelous. The different activity sheets has taught them how to keep safe and build their immunity. It has helped them to learn how important hygiene is, that how important it is to wash your hands with soap. And this was done in the journal, and activity was done through an sequencing activity. They also learned how important it is to drink warm water to build immunity. We all know how important it is. We as adults, most of us do get up in the morning and drink a glass of warm water, squeeze some lime in it to have. But the children also learned through the journal how important it was to drink warm water. The most important thing that they learned was how to eat healthy food. That healthy food, like you said, Lina, you spoke about it, would build their immunity to fighting all kinds of health issues. And this they learned from this journal. They learned that how important it was to eat fruits like apples, bananas, salads, vegetables, having milk, yogurt, and of course, avoiding all their junk food, their peppies, their chocolates, their cheese balls. They learned how important it is to have their morning cereals, their nuts, and whatever healthy hot food that their mama would cook. Not only that, through this journal, they were also asked to put up a poster in their house to remind themselves and also their family members how important it is to wash hands using a hand sanitizer, telling mama, no, you have to not only wash your hands with soap water, but also with the sanitizer. and of course, having good sleep. We, of course, like you said, everybody's addicted to Netflix, but then having a good 8-9 hour good sleep is very important, because that is something that helps to boost immunity. So this is what how the journal reflected, and the parents are completely happy with all that the children have learned through the journal.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you, Vinita. So the journal I think the first thing that a journal does is it gives kids the information. We think that, we shouldn't give kids the information, but I'm always, whatever information as a family you need to share, please do. Moms ask me, if we're going through a financial rough situation, should we tell our kids or not tell our kids about it? And I'm always saying it's always great to share, so that kids can even understand the energy that's in the home at this time. So through the COVID journal, we not only informed kids of what the virus was, we also empowered, and we also kept them engaged with activities through it. And and I think we also got, I remember parts of it being about kids saying, what can you control? Where can you feel grateful in your life still? And all these are great ways to, boost immunity. So these are all great, and they'll all help boost immunity. Is there anything else any of you would like to share about what you're doing with kids to give them as much of a feeling of normalcy as possible at this time?
Yes, Lina. Our teachers keep in constant touch with them to make them feel that everything is normal. The teachers, in fact, told them that, listen, you all are not coming to school. It's okay. We are coming to you every day, and you all will see us through the television. Through our virtual classes, we have kept them positively engaged, not only with our curriculum, but also by doing different kind of activities to keep them in a positive frame of mind, which is definitely the need of the hour. We have celebrated birthdays virtually. In fact, today itself, we had a virtual birthday, and the child was so happy. We have played games like bingo to keep them engaged in fun. Teachers have sat down talking to them about how important it is to watch a movie with the family, play board games, have meals together, and help your mothers in small ways, which would automatically help make them feel happy. We also had yoga sessions, music and movement, dancing, physical exercises, which kept them very happy. And definitely when you're happy, you're automatically in a good mental state, which boosts the immunity levels. So this has all helped them cope with the situation better, and also definitely increases their immunity. And like you said, we don't have to say that when you're happy, our happy hormones moderate our feelings of well-being, and automatically boosts immunity. So we have been doing we have also been doing special days, sport activities virtually to keep all the children occupied and very happy. I would like to share with you as a few screen shot, please. Just give me 2 minutes.
So while she's working that out, I'd like to ask all you mums out there, if you've got any questions, please post them right now. As we close this, we'll start seeing whether there are any questions you want answered.
Yes. So if you can see, this is a reflection of the journal, our reflected COVID journal. This is a sample worksheet.
Oh, that's so
here, these are the special days.
Can you take it back? So that's a filled-in journal, huh?
Yeah, the child has filled the journal and he has sent it to us.
That is so gorgeous.
Yes. He's created a picture of himself.
Lovely.
The next worksheet also is done by him. And once he's done it, they have scanned it and they've sent it to the teachers.
Beautiful.
And these are a few special days that we had done in school, where you can see the teacher has been dressed up like a vegetable vendor at home, with all the resources available. This is also a community helper where they spoke through the shoemaker and the elf and the shoemaker. They learned, they did an activity where they created their own chapels.
So what I'm loving from this is that it shows me that this is not a one-way communication where the teacher is sort of lecturing and giving information to kids. The kids are actually actively engaged, constructing their own learning, running around and picking up things.
Absolutely. In this, where they were talking about feelings, you can see that little child crying. She actually, can I come home back with you? Or can you come to my house? Please, I want to see you every day. So while doing that virtual classroom, the child actually burst out into tears. Her name is Yana, and this is Kajal teacher. Here, this is another special day where they're all dressed up as pet and farm animals using resources available at home. Here they're creating, this is spectacular spiders. They've created spiders from using Play-Doh. This is again a Spanish class at Almeida. We teach the Spanish language. So the teacher is doing her rhymes, Spanish rhymes using soft toys. And they had a karaoke, mom karaoke night. So the evening, so where the teacher, she decorated her house with all the instruments that were available at her residence. See, this is where we are celebrating a virtual birthday. Here again, it was Dad's Day where there's palm printing of the child and the father. And of course, graduation day, which we do physically and is such an important special day for the senior KG. We couldn't do it this year, but we did it virtually. We gave them these certificates out to the children. And these are certain physical activities you can see that are being done with their dads to keep them engrossed at home. Yoga poses. Here, balancing, netball, crawling through, kicking. Again, yoga. This is Meher. She's from our senior KG who's now gone to Billabong. And this is, of course, coding, which you want to talk. Yeah.
Lovely. So what I love from what I'm seeing is that it's not, it is literally kids actively engaged in the whole process.
Lina.
Yeah. Any of you want to add anything else before we take questions?
So basically, we also did a lot of activities with our children. I'll just be sharing some of the screens with you.
Please do, because the kids are so adorable. I love seeing
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So we had a couple of things, you know, our children at home, other than curriculum. One second.
Okay, so some questions are also starting to come in. So
So a very important aspect of mental health is creativity. So we had a lot of children who parents did a lot of creative stuff at home. This is one of our child, Ruhani, who basically she did finger painting, she did palm painting, and she just dropped us a very, very sweet message saying that she made a flower with her palm and she wrote that this is for my Astha teacher. And we had some praises from her grandmother, Ruhani's grandmother, when we were on with our virtual classroom. Her grandmom says that we watched it. She is learning very well. Little bit she is distracted. That is okay for her age. I must say that they are teaching very well. In my time, we memorized all things, which would be like float and sink, without even understanding anything. Teaching methods are totally different from our time. It was extremely satisfying for each one of us, our whole team, when we heard such kind words from Ruhani's grandmother. Basically, we also had some of our parents doing role play at home, so which is another important aspect of mental health. We had all our 3-year-olds doing some or the other creative stuff at home. We had a baker. We had Neva who baked a cake for her mother. So basically, they were all, we had chef Adnan Sabuwala. The children were all trying, they were inventing, they were imagining, and they were putting their best, whatever they've learned at home. Parents played an extremely important role in this. They actually channelized the kids' energy with all the available resources at home.
Excellent.
We also,
Yeah.
We also had some of our, young warriors who actually sent a message saying that the world is closed for renovation. Stay home, stay safe. It was so much overwhelming to see our children understand the importance of staying indoors. We as parents, we are all role models for them. So when our children see us doing all the household chores, we had all our young children helping their mothers in all the daily activities like sweeping, mopping, folding clothes, cleaning the house, keeping their toys in place. Finally, we also had some of our children sending messages out for all the people who are relentlessly helping us so that we can stay home safe. And they are going out and helping everyone like the doctors, policemen. And we are very happy and safe in our house with our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So just going to start going to some questions now. Yeah, so I'm going to ask Pooja to take this one. Pooja, this question comes from Khushbu Shah Mehta. Are there any tips you have for making 5.5-year-olds to sit and meditate?
Sure. As I said, whether it's a 2-year-old or a 5-year or a 10-year or a 20-year-old person, there are a few things. Start with Om chanting. Maybe just start like 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the night. There's a very good technique which we call it as reflection, which is nothing but sit with the child, of course. Go through the entire day, everything that you've done, whether you've cooked, whether you've swapped anything, whether you've read a book, how much, was it fun? Did you miss out on anything? So it boosts, it enhances your memory. It gives good sleep. It maintains a routine for you that this is part of your lifestyle, which you need to do with the child. And take baby steps. I would not say put on any pressure on the child that you need to sit. Just do these things which I introduced, like sitting by the window. I think that's one of the best things that you can do with the child. And of course, another thing is reflection. Yes, Lina, you wanted to say something.
Would you suggest, there are some Eastern cultures that do like Tai Chi as a form of meditation or movement. So if this 5.5-year-old can't sit to meditate, maybe they could do some movement meditation as well, right? Because meditation is just about being aware and being present in your body.
Of course, with physical meditation comes in. You have to do few physical activities. Only then can you, focus. Your body focuses when your fitness level is good. So definitely your food plays a role. Your exercises plays a very vital role. And then you can definitely sit in any position for any time of meditation and start.
Okay, so Kratika Jaswani is asking, how can we convince parents who are not letting their little ones attend virtual class? Who would like to take this one? Vinita, go.
Yes. Virtual classroom, it is not that people are hesitant to make their children sit in front of the screen. But in fact, the children are more excited. They've not seen their peers in so long. They're so happy when they come onto the TV and they're seeing their friends, meeting them, chatting with them, playing games. So it's, in fact, I think this is the new norm. This is going to be in future, learning from home, sitting at home and learning. So this screen time is not what we call as bad screen time. You can restrict the screen time of going on playing games or something. But where virtual schooling is concerned, no, I think it is the future. It is definitely the future. So yes, I think they should adapt to it very, very lovingly. They should adapt to this because
we should embrace it, right? I think
yes.
I want to also add is that, how parents feel about virtual learning is actually how their kids will end up feeling about it.
Absolutely.
So if you
the children are very excited. The children are so excited. I mean, today when the birthday happened, they met after a few days and they were so happy and so excited seeing each other. Lina, it is something that we really got to see how happy they are.
So now Vanita Nisha Belani Ambwani, very long name, is asking, my child doesn't want to do any reading or anything related to studies. What should I do? Just leave him, or how do I convince him? Well, one thing I can tell you is if what these girls showed me is anything to go by, there's no way a kid doesn't want to do that. I actually want to be a virtual learner in all of their classrooms and make those Play-Doh spiders and play with the plants and do puppet shows and rhymes and stuff. I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, learning is happening through this also. I mean, learning is happening, so the learning is not happening.
Yeah, well, learning is supposed to be a joyous journey, right? That's yes. what we want to. It's supposed to be an adventure, a quest. It's not supposed to be something that's forced.
Absolutely.
So one is, I'd really ask you to look at what you're asking your child to do in regards to reading or anything related to studies, because anything that you force creates resistance, right? And people do not want to be forced into anything. So if you're forcing your child to sit or to read or to learn, your child will get only more aversion from it. So please don't do that. Just make sure that any learning that you're engaging a child in is active engagement. It's not one-way learning. Too often, too many preschools are teaching abstract concepts to kids without the active engagement, without the child being able to construct his own knowledge. And that sort of learning should be locked down. And that should be locked down forever.
Totally agreed, yes.
So please don't force your child to do anything. Now, there's another question.
Lina, as adults also, if you're forced into anything, we don't like doing it.
We don't like it. So true.
It's physics. Force creates resistance, right?
Absolutely.
Everything has to be in a playway method. That's how, they are going to get involved in it.
Okay, Ritu Sal Merotra. And this her kid goes to Wadala. Shall we teach writing patterns to nursery kids? My son goes to Kangaroo Kids Wadala as patterns start from nursery. So is it important that we should start at home with them as no update on opening of schools? You want to take this answer?
Yeah, so we are going to be starting the school in the first week of June, Ritu. Hello, hi. It's so nice to see you here. We will be starting the school soon. If in case he is ready to start, you can definitely start doing some patterns, but we will be introducing everything once the school is on, dear.
Just let him be.
Yeah, and what I find so beautiful is not only in preschools, but Divya was telling me even in primary and middle school, what usually takes 8 hours to do in a primary or middle school, and or 6 hours or whatever the school day is, and what takes 3.5 hours in junior KG and senior KG is actually being compressed because kids are just actively watching you. There is no fidgeting, there's no classroom management required, there's none of that. So yeah, so that's all beautiful. So if there are no other questions, Priyanka, can you give me a signal? Can we sign off, Priyanka? Can you just send me a text message? So what I want to do is really, really thank you, Vinita, for your great leadership at the Bandra School.
Thank you so much, Lina. It's so wonderful working with you.
I can see your teachers are absolutely engaged and they're going beyond being resourceful and creative and trying to make learning as much fun as possible.
They've done a fantastic job, Lina. Believe me, they've done a fantastic job.
I believe that. And Pooja and Dhara as well. Thank you so much, firstly, for being our partners. This brand belongs to you guys as much as us. You've actually helped us grow the brand, and
we have to thank you, Lina. It has been such a fantastic brand, and the curriculum, we are so happy with it. Our children love the curriculum. We love it. We teachers enjoy teaching them. It has been a pleasure.
So this is what I'm going to feel grateful for today, is this conversation. This is part of my connections. I don't need to do a Facebook FaceTime with anybody else. I've done it with you three beautiful women. You've added a sense of connection to my day, and I'm truly, truly grateful for what you're doing for the children in our care. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, mamas. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.